In today's video, I am going to be breaking down some of Stan Van Gundy's basketball plays because he just became the head coach for the New Orleans Pelicans, and of course, we want to see what he's going to be running for Lonzo Ball, and of course, one of the best power forwards I think in the game today in Zion Williamson. So let's get down to the clipboard and let's check out these basketball plays. So first, we're going to be having our players set up 3 across the free throw line with another player in the middle of the key, and obviously we're going to have an inbounder on the sideline. So in this first play, the farthest player away from the ball is going to curl around that middle player and pop out towards that corner. At the same time, we're going to be having this player, he's going to be going up between this double screen and pop out to receive the inbounds pass. So once those players get through those screens, what's going to happen is now if this player is being guarded by a defender of the inbounder, this is really good defense by the way, then he needs to do some kind of a fake to be able to get out of that way so that he can obviously get that inbounds pass. Now from there, what we're going to see is we're going to be having essentially a 5-out look, or technically a horns look if these players were a bit deeper. Now what we're going to see is the point guard passing to the player who was on the middle, essentially, of that free throw line. He's popped out to the point. And now at this point, the player on this side who was inbounding is going to be then cutting across the key. Now what we're going to have is the pass over to Drummond, who was the player on this side of the free throw line. Remember, we had that curl, and then this player popped up for the pass. Now he is receiving the pass. From here, what we're going to have is a dribble handoff for our forward and our center doing the dribble handoff together. Now, I personally think that this could be either Lonzo Ball himself or it could be a forward that they have. Meanwhile, this player here is going to be Zion Williamson. And why I say that is Zion is a very good player when it comes to lobs. And what we're going to see here is if we have a player, or if the Pelicans have a player who can attack the rim like Lonzo, it's going to collapse both of these players onto him. And from there, what's going to happen is he could send up a lob to Zion, and of course this player is going to get absolutely punished and posterized. But instead, what we've seen with Stan Van Gundy with the Pistons was that forward attacking the rim himself. We may also see this being Zion Williamson instead of another forward, or instead of it being Lonzo, because Zion is actually very good at attacking the rim, and if he can get a little bit, maybe a 5 to 10% boost of dribbling skills or attacking the rim with dribbling, then this could be a very deadly play, because who is going to stop Zion Williamson attacking the rim? Nobody's going to be able to stop that. So this is another 4-out option that we're going to see, and from here what we're going to have is the player on this side is going to be cutting across the baseline. And now we have a big guard, somebody like Alonzo or maybe a forward handling the ball. And then from there, what we're going to have is the point guard or probably the smallest player going down towards this corner. From here, what we're going to have is a pass to the high post. Now this could be Zion, and it could not be Zion, and I'll explain that to you in a few seconds. So from here, what we may have is now we're going to have a screen away, and now we're essentially a 5-out offense. And really quickly, if you want to go check out the complete guide to the 5-out offense, the link is down in the description below, especially if you're a coach looking to incorporate a offensive set that can really go from the beginner all the way to the advanced. So we're going to have that screen away, and now we're going to have that dribble handoff up top. After that dribble handoff, this could be a shot, but what we're going to see is now a screen and roll off. Now, this could be Lonzo Ball, or it could be Zion in that location, and this could be Zion as well. There's multiple different locations or positions that we can put Lonzo as well as Zion. That's why I personally think that those are 2 really good players, especially in the future, as long as Zion stays healthy. I've had knee injuries, and it's very hard to be able to stay healthy like that, and he's had some pretty bad injuries himself. So From there, if this was Zion, it would be a total all-out onslaught on that defensive player and that rim. But generally speaking, this is going to be Zion, and from there, it's going to be a massive lob dunk for Zion Williamson. Really quickly, in this year's draft, their first draft pick in the first round, what they picked was not necessarily the most skillful player, but what they did pick was a player who was an up-tempo and definitely the fastest player in the draft. And what that tells to me is that they're going to be running a lot of full-court lobs, a lot of just get down the court fast and get some lobs up for Zion. That's what I personally think the type of offense that the Pelicans and Stan Van Gundy are going to be running this year. So here we have another 4-out, 1-in offense. Now, Zion could really sit in one of these two positions right here, and I'll explain to you that to you right now. So from here, what we're going to have is a back screen, or you could just cut across instead. You don't necessarily need to cut or set a screen from there. It's going to be a pass over to, in this case, Blake Griffin, who is a very Zion-type player. But from after that pass, what we're going to have is now this player who was down in this corner, he's going to be cutting up, and it's going to be a dribble handoff between, in this case, Blake Griffin and that wing. From there, what we're going to have is a quick screen, and in this case, a pop. Now, personally, this could end up a couple of different ways when it comes to the Pelicans. When it comes to the Pelicans, Zion has so far shown that he can hit the three-point shot at a pretty high level. So he may be able to pop out, especially when there's players who are coming back down so that they can cut off the drive. Because, of course, nobody wants to give away free dunks to Zion. That really hypes up teams like the Pelicans. And really any team, if you can throw down a dunk like Zion, of course, you're going to be hyping up any single team that you ever play on. But with him being able to pop out and hit that shot, then that's going to be a definite bonus for the Pelicans. But you're not going to see too many players jumping out like this on Zion unless he starts hitting over 35%. And at that point, he may be able to do what Blake Griffin just did here. But what I also see happen is Zion cutting down, massive lob up, and that player is not going to be, nobody's going to be able to stop Zion off the lob, let's face it. But that could be a pop out for a shot, or he could do this as well and attack the rim, because Blake Griffin is the closest thing that we have to Zion. Blake Griffin also had knee injuries as well. I think he tore his ACL. So keep that in mind when you're looking at these plays. And if you go and look over any Detroit Piston play when they had Blake Griffin and Stan Van Gundy, what you're really going to be seeing is potentially a lot of different plays that Stan Van Gundy ran for Blake Griffin being ran for Zion Williamson, because they're both very similar players. Blake Griffin was a massive dunker. He won the dunk competition. I would really like to see Zion Williamson get into the dunk competition as well, because that would be really cool. I would also like to see Kenyon Martin Jr. also make the dunk competition, because he's got some flying ability too. But that's going to be probably a few years down the road, and Kenyon Martin Jr. doesn't play on doesn't play with the Pelicans. He plays for the Rockets. I hope that you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you guys again next time.